At this point, please stay standing for our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And those of you who'd like to be seated at this point, now you can be seated. You know, the Pledge of Allegiance has two very, very powerful words in it: liberty and justice. And when you get right down to it, that's why we're here today. We're here today because of a violation of the constitutional rights of Captain Paul Fields. For those of you, and I think you probably all know the story, but let me do a quick recap and then talk about why we see this as such a serious violation that we have, as a national organization, taken the time to put this rally together here in Tulsa. Earlier this year, the Islamic Society of Tulsa decided to have a Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. Now, nothing wrong with that. I mean, anytime any entity anywhere wants to have an event to show appreciation to the fine officers who serve, whether it's in our armed forces or in our law enforcement, I say more power to you. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. But here was the problem. It was how it was structured. According to the reports that I've seen, the Law Enforcement Appreciation Day being held on a Friday afternoon, which is the holy day for Islam. It's the comparable day for Saturday for Jews and Sunday for Christians. Included the officers observing the Friday prayers and sitting in on a class where they would be instructed in doctrines and beliefs about Islam. And this is where the Law Enforcement Appreciation Day crossed the line. And this is why Captain Fields decided that he could not obey an order to go and do this. And by the way, the police chief had actually asked initially, or said that this would be a voluntary event. And because apparently so few officers decided voluntarily to go, it was changed to a mandatory event. Now, I would like everyone assembled here today to imagine this scenario. Imagine that the largest Baptist church in this area had decided to host a Law Enforcement Appreciation Day to be held in conjunction with its Sunday morning services. The church sends out invitations to the local police department and the sheriff's department. In communications with both law enforcement departments, the church spells out what it's planning for its Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. The church asks that law enforcement officers who come to be appreciated attend the 10 a.m. church service to observe how the church worships. The church also asks that officers sit in on Sunday school classes designed to educate the officers about the doctrines and beliefs of the church. The police chief notifies all police officers about the upcoming event and asks for voluntary participation. When only a few officers respond, the police chief makes participation in this event mandatory. Does this sound familiar to the situation that we're dealing with right now? What's the only difference? Christian church versus an Islamic mosque. One of the officers, continue the scenario now, one of the officers, a Muslim, objects and states that he will not attend. He says, and correctly I would argue, that requiring him to attend a Christian church service and classes on Christian doctrines and beliefs is an infringement and violation of his constitutional rights. Now I want you to imagine the police chief then suspending this Muslim police officer and taking other disciplinary action against him. Now I have a question for all of you assembled here today, and I'd like to hear your answer loud and clear. Do you believe, in today's politically correct culture, that a police chief in Tulsa, or anywhere else for that matter, would force a Muslim officer to attend Christian services and classes as part of a Law Enforcement Appreciation Day? Yes or no? No! Do you believe a police chief anywhere would discipline a Muslim officer for refusing to attend Christian services and Sunday school classes deemed to be part of a Law Enforcement Appreciation Day? Yes or no?
No!
Do you believe Police Chief Chuck Jordan here in Tulsa would require a Muslim police officer to attend Christian services and Sunday school classes as part of a Law Enforcement Appreciation Day? Yes or no?
No!
Of course not. We know the answer. And the truth of the matter is, if you did a poll across America, so would virtually every single American who pays any attention at all to what's happening in our country. Conservative, moderate, or liberal. Can you imagine what the ACLU would do if this happened? Can you imagine what CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations, would do if a police chief did this? Can you imagine the outcry from the New York Times, MSNBC, not to mention the outrage that would be fomented on college campuses across our country over the violation of this Muslim police officer's rights? Now, this might surprise you, but I don't normally find myself in agreement with CARE or the New York Times on issues like this. I know it's a shock, but bear with me. But in this case, I would agree with them. No Muslim police officer should be required, as part of something called Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, to attend a Christian church service and Sunday school classes. So here is my next question. How is it right for Tulsa Police Chief Chuck Jordan to discipline a Christian officer for refusing to attend Friday Islamic prayers and classes on Islam at a local mosque? The double standard here, ladies and gentlemen, is not glaring, it's blinding. The same double standard we recently saw applied by the U.S. Army. How many veterans do we have here? Thank you. I would say that you as veterans have probably figured out that there's a politically correct culture that's creeped into the leadership in our armed services that is disturbing at best. Wouldn't you agree? You may be familiar with Army PFC Nasser Jason Abdo, a Muslim who early this year requested conscientious objector status. He requested the status because he claimed that Islamic law prohibits him from killing other Muslims. And in fact, there is support for this position in the Islamic Sharia law. But here's the problem. Historically, conscientious objector status has only been granted to those who could demonstrate a deep and sincerely held belief that killing anyone was wrong, not just a particular group. Abdo didn't say he objected to killing anyone. He just objected to killing Muslims. And as we now know, since his recent arrest due to his plot to kill fellow soldiers at Fort Hood, he obviously has no objection to killing non-Muslims. Now imagine a Christian being granted conscientious objector status because he was opposed to killing Christians, but not Muslims, Hindus, or atheists. Or a Jew granted such status because he was opposed to killing Jews, but not Muslims, Buddhists, or atheists. Of course, we all know this would never happen. These two situations illustrate precisely the kind of double standard and special, unequal treatment that the Muslim Brotherhood and its front groups in America want to foist upon our country. Not coincidentally, by the way, the Islamic Society of Tulsa is linked to two of the most prominent Muslim Brotherhood front organizations in America. CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations, and ISNA, the Islamic Society of North America. We are therefore here today for two reasons. The first is to protest the unjust actions that have been taken against Captain Fields because of his refusal to obey an order that violated his constitutional rights. We believe he was correct in refusing to do this, just as a Muslim officer would be correct in doing the same thing. We are here to call on the government leadership of Tulsa, beginning with Mayor Dewey Bartlett, to do the right thing, throw off the shackles of political correctness, insist that Police Chief Jordan reverse his decision and fully state Captain Fields and clear his record. I used to work for a polling company, and I can surmise, without even taking a poll, that the majority of citizens in Tulsa, and I would suspect probably a large majority, would be in agreement that Captain Fields was wrongly disciplined and that he should be fully reinstated. I also believe that Captain Fields will ultimately prevail in court. Now, I'm not an attorney, and I don't pretend to be one, and I don't play one on television. But I know the people at the Thomas More Law Center, the public interest firm that has filed suit on Captain Fields' behalf. They are excellent attorneys, and they are extremely good at what they do. And they win a lot of cases. And I have a message for the leadership in Tulsa. You can do the right thing now in the easy way, or you may end up being dragged through court for who knows how long and end up paying all kinds of damages, because I believe when everything's said and done, if you don't do the right thing now, you'll pay the price later.
That's right!
The second reason we are here is to send a larger message, not only to the government, the media, and the citizens of Tulsa, but to government officials across the country. That message is this: the Constitution guarantees equal protection under the law. It does not permit, in the name of misguided political correctness, unequal protection under the law. If it is a constitutional violation to require a Muslim police officer to attend Christian church services and Sunday school classes, and I submit it is, then it is equally a constitutional violation to require a Christian officer to attend Friday prayers and classes on Islam at a local mosque. So I say today, enough of the double standards and enough of the unequal treatment. Now, I'm going to give Police Chief Jordan a little benefit of the doubt here. Perhaps he meant well and was simply misguided when he made the decision to require his officers to go to the mosque. But once he was challenged as to the legality of his order, he and anyone who advised him should have stepped back and really thought this through. Had they done so, they would have concluded the following: that the same climate of political correctness that surely contributed to Jordan's decision to discipline Captain Fields would also influence him to never discipline a Muslim police officer who refused to obey a similar order. Once they reached that conclusion, that should have been enough reason to undo the wrong that was committed against Captain Fields. Now, it probably won't surprise you that the New York Times hasn't rallied to Captain Fields' cause. Neither have the other usual suspects in the media across the country who are quick to rally to the cause of the politically correct. That's why we're here. That's why you're here. We are patriotic Americans who love our country, honor and respect our Constitution, and have had enough of the cancer of political correctness that is eating away at both. So we are here with a message to Mayor Bartlett and Police Chief Jordan. Do the right thing. Fully reinstate Captain Fields. That's all we're asking. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Lastly, and I'll close with this. For those of you who live here in Tulsa, if Mayor Bartlett refuses to take action to reverse this travesty imposed on Captain Fields, should he choose to run for re-election, Remember the role he has played in this when you vote.
That's right.
For as we say in Act for America, if elected officials won't see the light, then let's make sure they feel the heat.
That's right.
Thank you.